Welcome to the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce Quick Takes Legislative Live Video Series. My name is Matt Murphy, Regional and Government Affairs Director of the Chamber. In this series, we're going to take quick visits with our local legislators. We want to know what's going on, what the hot topics are, and what in general is happening in Olympia. I want to thank the Tire Factory and MacKay Sposito for their support of this series as policy engagement partners. So today we are joined by Senator King. He's back on the show here. He was one of our first guests, and now he's making the rounds again. He's from the 14th Legislative District. Good morning and welcome back, Senator King.
Well, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. Always enjoy the conversation. So thank you.
Yeah, so this is these are some hectic times going on in Olympia. You know, here we thought that you're winding down to less than a month when you're like 24 days supposedly. But, you know, I know that you have been a key figure in the transportation budget writing process. I don't imagine that that's kept you up at night at all. It's a simple process, I know. Yeah. But so tell me, has the drafting the transportation budget really been a partisan issue, or has there been a lot of bipartisan work going into it?
Well, I would tell you that before session started, Senator Leas, who is the chair of transportation, obviously in the Senate, came to me and said, we are going to need to draft a transportation budget. I want to do it with you. I want to do it so that it's a bipartisan budget, and I will assure you that that's the way we're going to work. We're going to do this together. Now, and how do you turn down that kind of an offer? So I said yes, because he and I have worked well together on a variety of issues. Doesn't mean we always agree, and we don't, but he does. In all honesty, he listens and tries to do what he can. You know, you have to realize that he is in the majority. They have 30 Democrats to 19 Republicans. He didn't have to come to me. They could do it all themselves. So I took that opportunity, and it is a bipartisan budget.
Outstanding. Well, that's great. So I can imagine there have been a lot of challenges, partisanship aside. You know, there's a lot of issues that go into the transportation budget. What would you say is probably one or two or three of the biggest challenges you guys are facing?
Well, I think you can look at our maintenance and preservation of our highways. DOT would tell you that we need $1 billion a year probably for the next 15 years just to bring everything up to the level it needs to be at. We started this budget, as we looked at it, we were $1 billion in the hole, $1 billion behind. So you throw maintenance and preservation on top of that, it's not a good sign. Our ferry system is, you know, doesn't really affect a whole lot of people in the Tri-Cities or in the 14th, but it is in shambles. It used to be, you know, one of the pearls of the state of Washington. And over the last 12 years, it's just nosedived, and we got to build that back up. And probably the biggest thing is we've been working hard to, you know, we've had a campaign about 0 deaths on our highways. Well, we got it down a few years ago to 400, 410, 420. It is now 810. In 2024, it's 810. And we have to, I mean, you can't just sit here and say, well, we're just going to try and get a budget that just, you know, keeps us going. Well, keeps us going means we're going to lose another 800 people this year on our highways. That's not acceptable to me. And so those are the reasons and why I was involved, why I wanted to be involved, to try and address those issues. And I think in a lot of cases, we've done a good job of that. Maybe not always in the way people like, because there's taxes involved here, and that's always a challenge. And I don't take that lightly, believe me.
Yeah, and I suppose that safety side of things, I know there's been some bills this year on you know, driver safety and things like that. But safety, I bet, is something that a lot of people don't think about when they think transportation budget.
No, we fund, for the most part, we fund them almost 100% of the state patrol, their training, the troopers. we're 200 and I want to say 260 plus troopers down from the level we need to be at. That's why
Hmm.
you see, I think, the deaths that you see. People are speeding like you. I mean, it's just unbelievable as I travel back and forth from Yakima to Olympia. I get
Yeah.
passed two or three times by
Yeah.
people doing 100 miles an hour. It's
Yeah.
mind-boggling. Yeah.
That's incredible. So there's been a House but transportation budget and the Senate transportation budget. Now, moving forward, can you quickly kind of tell us how those two are going to come together without, I mean, obviously you guys got your opinions and this House has got their
Sure.
opinions. And so what's the process now?
So the process is we have passed our transportation budget out of the Senate. It's gone over to the House. They pull our budget off. They put their budget on. They vote it out of the House and then send it back to us. We say, we don't agree. Let's go to concurrence. So we will start negotiations. We're going to meet on Friday. What would that be? The fourth, I believe, and just start going through the procedures and then the first of the week we will start having more almost daily face-to-face meetings and sometimes we just send offers back and forth. We'll do this if you do that and blah 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 but that's the negotiations that's going to take place over the next probably 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. That's a good explanation. So last thing I want to touch on real quick is Governor Ferguson came out a couple days ago with some pretty tough language in regards to the operating budget and what his desires are. Has he come out and has he addressed the transportation budget? Is that all kind of like thrown into the same cuts, no new tax? What's his take and what's your take on his thoughts on the
Well,
transportation?
I think initially he was throwing transportation, and maybe that's a wrong word to use, but he was putting transportation in with the operating budget, and they are two separate things. I was told that when he had a meeting with the chair, and the chair said, "Hey, we're doing this. The Senate budget is a bipartisan budget. I got Republicans and Democrats working together here." That kind of changed his outlook on how he's looking at transportation. I know he has specific wants and desires for the operating budget. I haven't heard that same analogy to the transportation budget.
All right, thank you. So you've given us a lot to think about, and we are
Yeah.
definitely thinking about all of you guys, all of our Tri-City Regional delegation, as you guys are approaching the end of the session. And I know when I talk to the other representatives, I know that Senator Dozer and Banky are on Ways and Means, and so they've
Yep.
got their hands full. And
Yep.
and we have Corey and Connors on appropriations, and so there's so much going on, and so we're thinking about you guys. But I want to thank you for all the hard work that you do and for the many hours that you do spend up and over there and away from your families. And can't wait for you guys to get back home. I know that we've got a big luncheon planned in May. Hopefully, you guys won't do a special session that lasts, too long.
I
Um,
understand.
yeah. So I know you're busy and I know you've got a lot of negotiations and I think floor action is going to kick on here pretty soon too, isn't it?
Oh, we started that yesterday. So
Okay.
that's the other element that kind of binds everything together and makes it kind of difficult to have these face-to-face meetings.
Yeah.
But let me just say it's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to represent the 14th district. I've done it for 18 years. I'm proud of those 18 years, but it truly is it's a humbling experience to have the people vote and elect you to go back that many times. Hopefully, because they think I'm doing something right, but you never know till you know. But we're
Absolutely.
working hard, trying to do the best we can and make the decisions that we think are best for not only the 14th, but for the citizens of the state of Washington. So thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything you do for Washington State and the 14th. And have a fun couple 3 weeks here.
We're planning on doing that. You always got to have a little fun. So appreciate it. Thank you. Good to see you again, Matt. Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bye bye.
All right, bye.